Welcome, guys. Day 9 or 8. I think it's day 9. Day 9 of our 90-day challenge. I'm going to dive into phone calls. I'm going to try to contact that agent one more time that we tried to yesterday. And just to refresh your memory, or if you guys weren't here at all, the situation that we had there was that we submitted an offer based on a conversation that we had with the agent. The agent just said, submit the offer. We submitted one where I think that we were giving $3,000 or $5,000 to the seller. They're actually in a negative equity situation. So what we did is we provided them with a little bit of money at closing. And then we received a response from the agent basically saying that we didn't listen to what the seller was looking for. So what I want to do with that one is just give him a call and see if we can figure out what the miscommunication was. What's going on? By the way, today's dialing is sponsored by Celsius. Sort of. Not really. But anyway. Yeah, I drink Celsius in the morning. Okay, cool. Let's dive right in. Also, by the way, guys, I know that I look pretty haggard today. My whole family's sick. And I'm feeling a little bit under the weather also. So I am trying to get through the day as best as I can. Forgive my appearance today. But woo, it's rough. Anyway. Let's call that agent and see if we can get a hold of him. You know what I'll also do? I'm also going to call this agent as well a little bit later. Maybe after I try to call this guy. This one is an offer that we submitted, and I'm going to pivot it. It was a cash offer. So what I want to do is I want to pivot it now to a creative offer. And before I do that, I'll kind of show you guys what I look at when it comes to presenting that type of an offer. Should I turn my LED lights on? Let's do that.
Hello, you've reached Tom.
Okay. Let's try to reach out to this agent now. So before I do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at what we offered this seller. This is the one that I'm pivoting to the creative now, okay? So what I want to take a look at is what we've offered to the seller. The conversation that I want to have with them is basically, let's transition it into something that makes sense for them from an equity standpoint if we are allowed to take over their financing. So okay, let's call. We'll just kind of dive in as we go.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not a...
So I'm going to try her a little bit later. What I would normally do there is leave her a message. I'm not going to double dial her if we've already spoken. There we go. All right, so let's just dive into some contacts now. We'll dive into some new leads. We'll see if both of those call back. Let me add signed. Okay. Awesome. Let's just go through a lot of these, or as many as we can here. What just happened? What's your guys' favorite flavor of Celsius? This is peach. But I have a fridge over here that probably has 50 Celsius. I like the tropical. Hey, Christian, it's Mike. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you. I am calling you about your listing that you just posted on.
I'm sorry. You said listen on what? I didn't hear you.
The one on. It looks like
yes.
it looks like you've gotten a ton of views on Zillow. That's where I'm seeing it. What kind of activity are you guys getting on that?
Well, we've had a 30-minute showing literally from 8 a.m. up till 7:30 p.m.
Crazy. Good for you. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I'll be really quick though because I know that you're busy. So I'm interested in buying this for myself. I'm not an agent, by the way, just a buyer. And so I'm interested in buying it for myself as a possible rental. And so I guess I'm just kind of curious about a couple of things. First off, is there an HOA? And if there is there an issue with rentals in the HOA?
No, not an HOA.
Okay, great. Awesome. So I can rent this thing out on a short-term or mid-term or long-term basis?
Correct.
Okay, great. And then is there anything that needs to be updated in the property or any of the major mechanicals that I would have to set aside some money for?
So part of the listing, the roof and the HVAC is pretty newer, and the driveway is what they did. This is a sale. Their mother passed away, and they're just the children from the home.
Oh no. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, cool. I can imagine that just based on the activity you guys are having, that there's probably not a whole lot of flexibility in price if I come with a cash offer, right?
Yeah, they want to see the offers that are coming in for the day. So maybe if they sit on the market for some time, I might have some wiggle room. But as of now, they do want to see what's happening with the market, with the showings we had today.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you one last question before I let you go. So I could come in with a cash offer, but what I want to do is maximize their net at the end of the day, the kids. Mm-hmm. It looks like, just based on the numbers that I've run, that there's not a ton of equity in this home. Is that right?
Right, correct.
Okay. I don't know what you're willing to disclose here, but what I want to do is give them more cash at close than what they would normally get with a traditional type of offer. But what I'm curious about is, would they be open to me taking over the monthly mortgage payments? If
for subject to?
I'm sorry?
Subject to?
Yeah, exactly. Would they be open to something like that?
I think they are not. I think this is a conversation that's better had when it's set on the market for a little bit.
Sure.
When they're like, okay, let's look at other options. But, 24 hours into it, they prefer to see what the offers are right now.
Yep, I agree with you. Okay, cool. Well, then why don't I do this? I'm gonna submit something to you. I don't know if it's going to be cash or if it's going to be a sub 2 offer at this point, but I understand that at this point you guys are hoping to get, all cash at the asking price or more. So sit on my offer, and I'll just kind of describe that for a little bit. We can touch base in a week or so.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so as you guys can see, the leads that I'm calling are brand new on market opportunities. This one looks like they're going to net around $7,000. And what I would want to do ideally in this situation is at least have a conversation about some offer, cash or creative. She makes a great point. They have a lot of activity on the property. So even with a cash offer, me coming to the table with a discounted price probably isn't something that they want to take a look at quite yet. Alternatively, if I were to come with a creative offer, they're probably going to sit on it for a little bit regardless, because they're hoping that they can sell the property without having someone come in to take over the payments. So in this situation, what I'm going to want to do is probably submit a creative offer that's highly competitive, and compared to the net price that they're going to walk away with, that's what I'll put in my offer as a cash payout at closing. So I'm going to play with a couple things there. It's a really, really great rate, and that's why I want to be competitive with my offer. It's like 2.8% on a conventional loan. So I'm going to say, let's submit a creative offer. She's in a really cool position, though, in the sense that she's had 30-minute showings all day. So good for her. All right, let's keep on going.
Hey, this is Doug.
I'm going to double dial today. Most people.
Hello, this is Doug.
Hey, Doug, this is Mike. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. I'm calling you about your listing that you have on the...
Yes.
So I'm looking at this on Zillow. I'm looking at it as a potential rental opportunity for myself as a landlord. I'm looking to buy a rental. And so I wanted to just touch base with you and see if this might be a good opportunity for me.
It's a perfect one for a rental, and the owners just replaced the HVAC a few days ago, so it's a brand new system.
Okay, that's nice. That's great. So I noticed that the house is a little bit older, and one question I have is, generally, if I'm buying a rental property, I want to make sure that I'm not having any sort of major capital expenditures early on in the ownership. Is there anything else that I would have to repair, do you think?
No, there's no repairs needed on it.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay, and there's no HOA, I assume, right?
No HOA, sitting on almost a half-acre lot, so there's plenty of potential in the backyard, too. So it's good. It's a good location. Yeah.
Sounds like it'd be great for a family.
It's priced to move, of course, but...
Have you had any offers on the property yet?
No, it's in coming soon status.
Oh, got it. Okay, I didn't see that here.
Yeah, it doesn't go active until Friday.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. Well, why don't I take a longer look at this and see if it makes sense for me to submit an offer. I know that you guys you just mentioned coming soon and brand new. So what I don't want to ask is the question of, is there any flexibility in price if I come with cash? But I might as well ask, is there any flexibility at all?
Not really, no. We priced it to actually go multiple offers. So we are definitely going to wait until it goes active on Friday and then see what comes in.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
I expect this to go over the list price for sure.
Great. Awesome. Do you have anything else that might be good for me to take a look at as a possible rental in Clarksville?
I don't personally have anything right now, but there's plenty of like condos and things that are great for rental opportunities as well.
Okay. What about any rehab opportunities? Is there anything that I could buy and renovate?
I don't have anything, but I mean, there's plenty of things out there. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a look, Doug. I appreciate your time. Thank you. All right. I hopped off the phone really fast with that guy. I was kind of testing to see why he thought it was going to go in a multiple offer situation and over list. So I wanted to see if he had anything else available. It sounded like he didn't have any rental opportunities available. So then I was asking about the rehab. I wanted to see what kind of activity he was producing by himself to see if he was actually knowledgeable enough to determine whether this is going to be a multiple offer situation or not. So that's why I was testing that. Brand new, even before market, that's what this property was. So it's a coming soon. So in this situation, for a couple reasons, I'm going to put it into a follow-up status for about 2 weeks. First off, I want to see in 2 weeks if they've had any offers, right? That's going to dictate whether this is going to sell for over list or not. Secondly, there's no reason for me to submit a cash offer right now. It doesn't make sense for me to. If he thinks it's going to be a highly competitive market for the property and I'm going to be submitting an offer that is probably much closer to the mortgage balance than it is the asking price, which is about 12% less than the asking price. So what I'm going to do is just follow up with him in 2 weeks. I'm going to set a follow-up due date for this guy. So I will classify this one as a long-term follow-up. Agent thinks multiple offers. Make sure you write really good notes. If I had more time, I would really write a long, like mini essay almost for this. And the reason for this is because it's just going to give me something to talk about next time. So what I'm going to want to talk to him about is how it's priced. Has he received multiple offers the way he expected? Where have the offers been? Have they been at list, over list? Where are they in relation to list? And yeah, so that's the conversation I would probably have with him. All right, let's keep rolling. But double dial worked, right? So that's good news.
Hi, you've reached Candace Hedgefest with Keller Williams Platt.
Let's call her again.
Hi, you've reached Candace Hedgefest with Keller Williams Platinum.
Okay. So while that was down, I made a couple of notes here. And what I want to do is start to keep track, almost like a daily scorecard, of how many contacts I'm making during my calls, how many cash offers I'm going to send, how many creative offers I'm going to send. As you guys can see, I've probably made 6 or 7 phone calls so far, 2 contacts. For me, a KPI is not calls. For me, a KPI is contacts, right? If I'm making calls, I can double dial. So the last 4 calls, for example, there's been 1 person who has picked up, but it's been 4 calls for 2 different contacts, right? So I think that a lot of us can be a little bit, what's the right way to say it? There's a great John Wooden quote: "Don't mistake activity for achievement." I hope I'm not paraphrasing. I hope that's exact. Don't mistake activity for achievement. And all of that means is exactly that, right? What we want to focus on is contacts. We don't want to focus on calls. I can call a fake number, a fax machine. Shoot, I've done it before where I've called a fax machine just to get my call volume up for other jobs. In this situation, because all that I care about is a closed transaction, what I really want to do is focus on contacts. So that's what I'm going to focus on in this situation. I'm not going to mistake activity for achievement. My achievement is going to be contacts. It's not going to be number of phone calls on a daily basis. So, hope that helped. I used to have UCLA stuff. I went to UCLA. So I used to have UCLA stuff up everywhere. Love John Wooden. What's this person's name? I keep forgetting to text. So what I want to do is I want to double dial and then text if they don't pick up. Oops. Let's try to call again. Usually the double dial works if you can tell that they have declined your phone call. That's typically when it works. All right, let's give up on that and send a text.
Hello.
Hey, Sharice, it's Mike. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I am calling you about your listing that you have on Old. I just saw that this posted almost within the past 24 hours or so. It looks like you guys are getting a ton of activity. Do you guys have any offers on the property yet?
We do not. Not yet.
Okay. Are you guys doing an open house this weekend?
We are on Sunday.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, I'm going to make note of that. I'm not an agent, by the way. I'm a buyer. I'm looking to buy a new rental property in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And so I guess I'm just kind of curious about a couple of things. First off, is there an HOA that this property's in?
It is an HOA, yes.
Okay. And do you know what type of rental restrictions, if any, there are?
Not that I have seen. Are you trying to do long-term, short-term rental?
Somewhere in between. Ideally, my company does lots of midterm rentals, but I would lean towards long-term if I have to.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything in the bylaws about rental restrictions.
Okay. So are you saying that there are rental restrictions or there are none?
I have not seen any.
Okay, got it. Okay, just want to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so if I were to submit an offer on this, but it were to be a cash offer, is there any flexibility in the price at all?
As of right now, I can say probably not. But I can't speak for my seller, so.
And is that just, you're thinking that just because you guys are brand new on market?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, got it. Well, let me throw this out there. I don't know if this is something that they would consider or not, but cash is one option that I could come to the table with. What I don't want to do though is put them in a tough situation if maybe they owe too much on the property. If I were to come in instead, so an alternative option would be if I were to come in and then pay you your commission directly so that the sellers don't have to, and then also take care of all of the closing costs, and if there is any equity in the property, I don't know if there is or not, would they be open to me taking over the mortgage?
Kind of like assuming their mortgage.
Yeah, sort of.
That's an option. They do have it's a VA loan on it.
Okay, great. Awesome. That's easy enough. Have you been presented with that option yet?
Yes, just now on this property, but sure.
Okay. And what do you think the seller's feedback would be on something like that?
I would just have to present it to her and see what she says.
Okay. Well, let's do this. I will put that together so you guys can take a look at it. It looks like, and I don't know if you've run a net sheet on this at all, but it looks like she may have to pay cash at closing at the current list price. Is that right?
I wouldn't be able to say that.
Okay. Got it. No worries. What I'll do then is I'll just calculate my own numbers on it, and then I'll submit an offer and then see if it goes anywhere.
Okay, perfect. Looking forward to talking to you.
Thank you, Sharice. Have a good day.
You as well.
Bye-bye. God, I really got to get better at freaking creative pitching. I feel like I'm so out of whack with it. At least I got the point across a little bit. Submit creative offer, negative equity, give. Okay, so the reason that I transitioned into a creative offer right away there instead of a cash offer was it looks like they're negative about 15 grand. It's also not a great loan. It looks like it's 5 3/4 VA, of course. VA is great. The 5 3/4 is not great. It could even be a little higher potentially. So the reason that I transitioned from cash to creative so quickly in that situation is just to put something on the table. I think that based on the amount of equity that they have in place right now, or lack thereof is a better way to say it, I think that presenting her with an option that allows her to walk away with cash is going to be more enticing than it is to come with obviously a cash offer and then have to go through that whole thing. So I'm going to submit a creative offer. I'm going to follow up tomorrow. And so that's going to be my second creative offer and my third contact for the day. So that's good. Man, I look rough. It's okay. Not trying to win any beauty awards, you know what I mean?
You've reached the voice answering system.
Try her again. And if that doesn't go through, I'll give her a call. Sorry, a text, excuse me.
Hello?
Hey, April, it's Mike. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. I'm calling you about your listing that you have on, let's see here. I'm looking here at Zillow. And I'm looking for myself, by the way. I'm looking to buy a new rental in the area.
Okay.
And so I guess I'm kind of curious about a couple of things. First off, is there an HOA that this property's in?
No.
Okay. Any rental restrictions at all?
There's not an HOA.
Right. And there's no rental restrictions at all?
No, it would have to be the HOA to be rental restrictions.
Not necessarily. Sometimes the city can mandate rental restrictions.
No, it's not. They're not doing it like that in Georgia. No, I promise you. No.
Okay.
No.
No, I believe you. I'm just asking the expert here. Do you know what this would rent for by chance?
I don't know. I can find out.
That'd be really helpful, actually. But no need.
Well, she really wants to sell it, but I can find out for you.
Oh no, I'm not asking. I'm not asking to rent it from her.
I can find out.
I'm not asking to rent it from her. All that I'm saying is that I would buy it and then use it as a rental. That's all that I'm saying.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Got it. It sounds like you've had a lot of activity on this so far.
Yeah, I just put it back on the market.
Is it back on the market at the same price?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why'd you guys take it off in the first place?
They had a tenant, and the tenant was in the way, so now the tenant's gone.
Oh, got it. Okay, so this was used as a rental.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. It sounds like it caught you at a bad time. I'm not getting a whole lot of it.
Used for Airbnb.
Okay. Okay, cool. Is she selling the property with the furniture?
She's not. She actually sold it.
The furniture she sold?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Well, if I submit an offer on this as a cash offer, is there any flexibility in the pricing at all?
You just have to submit it. I know she wants to get top dollar, but if you submit it, then I can definitely take it out. Take it out, give it to her, and we'll see.
Okay.
As long as she charges it.
All right. That sounds good. I'll submit an offer then this afternoon, and we'll see where it goes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jesus. Like pulling teeth. Okay. Man. That one did not make me feel very good. So, Gotta get back on the horse. That was rough. You know what I find myself doing though? It's kind of an interesting note. I find myself getting stuck in a rut sometimes. The more calls I make, the same type of call that I make, the more of a rut that I'm in. So what I'm trying to do now, I'm noticing this. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make the same type of phone call for an hour and then do something else, right? Whether that's send offers or do admin work and then make another type of phone call after that. Because if I mix up my phone calls, then I don't get stuck in the same kind of rut that I'm in all the time. So what I want to do here is make calls for another maybe 60 minutes or so like this, and then do some work and then come back and make some other types of phone calls because I find myself saying the same freaking thing over and over again, and I don't like it at all. Here, let's do this. Here, this might be interesting. This is a wholesaler that, what the heck? Oh. Okay, so this is a wholesaler. Says he has a deal for me. Let's see. This guy only brings me creative deals. So we'll see how this goes.
And I will respond quickly. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Interesting. All right, let's keep on going. We'll call him back later. Did I talk to this guy yesterday? I did. I think. Yeah, I did. Why is he not? Hey, Michael, how's it going?
Hey, is this Mike?
This is. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Sorry about that. I have all my calls automatically go to voicemail unless it's in my phone.
That's smart. You know, it's funny. I would probably cut down 90% of the phone calls that come in if I did that, and that would be great. How you doing?
It was just getting ridiculous.
I hear you, especially when they're trying to sell you something, or whether it's the IRS calling from India. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird that the IRS has a Mumbai address these days.
I've got a deal. It's got a VA loan on it, so I forgot what you told me about VA loans.
They're great. They're great.
They're great?
Yep. Yeah, they're awesome. It kind of depends on the amount that's been borrowed, but tell me more and then I'll tell you whether it's something that can be worked or not.
I think it can be worked because this property's got some really good numbers, except he's probably asking for a little bit too much, but I think, you know, he's in a position that he's probably negotiable. Where should I start? Give you the address, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's start there. What's the address?
It's 7103 Autumn Park.
One that you got off of your paper lead thing?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Let me get my notes. It sounds like the house is in really good shape. He's a 100% disabled veteran, and he's got some spinal issues, and it's a 2-story house, and the master is upstairs.
Oh man.
So they decided to build a house in Florida, and they've already started the process. So I figured the house is probably worth $400, and he's just wanting to net $300, which, you know, it's got a pool. It's just got a lot of upgrades, and it just doesn't sound like, I mean, even if he called a realtor and put it on for $330 or something, he could probably sell it.
Is he just in a time crunch? Is that why he wants to go through someone like you?
I think so. He's been very happy with his
Yeah, right. Interesting. Okay.
So he owns a VA note of $237, and it's 4.65%.
You said 237 is the balance?
Yeah,
And 4.625%?
4.65.
4.65. Okay. And so he wants to sell it for 300. And so he's just looking for the difference between what he owes and 300, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, interesting. What's he going to do with the house in Florida? Does he need his VA entitlement?
He says he does, but it's less than $300,000, so there's enough for him to get another loan.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, good.
He's already figured all this out. He even proposed that. So I told him it's a VA. I gotta find out for sure. I'm not real sure.
Why wouldn't you do this as a cash deal?
Me?
Yeah.
I just strictly wholesale. I could probably put it out there for $329, and I might be able to sell it. But I don't want to put this guy in a position to, you know, in today's market, there's just no guarantees, and I don't want to go 2 months and say, "Sorry, buddy, I can't do it."
Sure. Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm completely out of investing any money in real estate. I've had too much bad deals in a row go against me. I said, maybe the Lord's trying to tell me something.
Well, I hope not. What have you run into?
Well, I still got that property I told you about that over in Dignity Hill that I'm trying to lease purchase or carry or something. So I haven't done. I got it on the MLS and just haven't found a buyer for it yet.
Oh, okay.
It just cost me money month after month.
Yeah, it's a pain. It's a big pain. Okay. Yeah, I'm running into an issue on one in San Antonio right now too, where we sold it on owner financing, and the current owner is not making her monthly payments. So I think that we're gonna have to foreclose on her, I think.
Well, that's not so bad for you guys. I mean, you just turn it around and do it again, right?
Yeah, it's not so bad, but I just hate putting people out of the house, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We might make some.
Now you haven't done rentals in so long.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
I did a couple of sheriff ejections, and I don't want to do that anymore. Yep, I agree.
Okay, well let me dive a little bit further into this, and then I'll call you this afternoon with some ideas. Okay.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. Okay, cool, awesome. That's kind of what it's like to make really good relationships with other wholesalers who don't want to do creative. So what's cool about him, he sold me one of my first wraps that I sold. So I bought a property from him. No, I didn't buy it from him. He brought me a deal. I think I paid him $5,000, and then I paid the seller $20,000, and then I sold it to someone else. They gave me $40,000, and so that covered my entire expense on it. It's a freaking great deal. I still get paid every single month on that one. I love that deal. So making relationships with wholesalers is super cool, especially when they don't do creative and you guys do creative. It's a great model. I love that model. All right, let's do this. I want to move this person here. You know what? I'm just going to send a creative offer on that one. Okay, let's keep going. Hi, Jose. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I appreciate you calling me back. Let's see here. I'm trying to find my notes here. I was calling you about your brand new listing that you have.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking for a new property in the area. So I own a couple other rentals in Cape Coral, and I'm looking to just increase my portfolio. And so that's why I'm looking at this one potentially. And I guess I was just kind of curious to reach out to you and see what you thought about using this as a possible rental.
So it has been sparingly used as a rental.
Okay.
That was the purpose of it, was to be used as a rental. So my opinion on it. So basically, it was purchased to use as a rental. It was it was furnished, and I just think it was listed with a there's a local property manager that was working on the property, and he just kept asking for more and more when it comes to basically sprucing the place up to be able to get some more action on it.
Uh-huh.
I agree that it did need some.
This has a
it
big
needed some TLC
equity spread
to be able to really get in
like
front of
30
the side.
grand.
The seller, was just willing to do minimal. Really, never had done anything like this before. Didn't realize, how much it really took. So she didn't really have a great, turnout on getting people to want to rent it. That property management company, they parted ways pretty quickly. She didn't like working with the gentleman. She went through a couple other ones that one guy kind of gave her the runaround. Was not really a property manager. It was more just kind of marketed the property to try to get renters in there. And that didn't work out well for her. Then we had the storm, which kind of hurt her a bit too. So she allowed actually a good friend of mine to rent the place for about 7 months. And they, that was probably the best rent she had. Then after that, she's had a couple renters sparingly, but really never got it going. I think for a couple reasons. The pool's not heated, so this time of year, there's people that weren't really interested in it because of that reason. And then I think just not really having it furnished and I think marketed the proper way. But I think it should work really well if it was done right as a rental because of the location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like she's also taken a little bit of a loss on this, huh?
She's come to terms with it, but she wants to move on, so she's ready to sell it.
Got it.
You know what I mean? She's ready. She doesn't want to. She's taking a loss every month, basically, but she holds it.
Jeez. So let me ask you a stupid question. Would she? I know that as an investor, she might be open to some different things. Would she be open to holding some financing on this?
I don't know. If I would say the only way she would be willing to do that is if if it makes somewhat sense. Like if the monthly payment basically would cover at least her mortgage and the bill, possibly. It all depends. I know she's looking more to just move on from it, but it's not totally out of the question.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably how I would be most interested in. I know that I'm kind of taking a look at some of her numbers that she purchased it at here. And I don't know if I can give her something that would make sense for her from a walking away standpoint, the equity at closing kind of thing. So I don't know if I can help her there, but I'm trying to figure out, what could be a decent solution for her. So let me think about this one, Jose. I know that this one's kind of unique just because she is an investor. It sounds like she's in a position where she just wants to get rid of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call her an investor. She's actually my aunt. So her scenario basically was this: she does own a couple properties back home, but those properties were she lives in one, and then she built basically a duplex on her property, considered a large property that was mostly used by my family members
and they paid her rent. So unfortunately my uncle passed away a couple years ago, and he left her some life insurance money. So that's why she made the investment. At that point, the rental market here was a lot stronger because, with COVID, but it was actually kind of on the down. It was on a downtick a little bit. But so she said, she just kind of, her advisor said, hey, you need to do something with some of this money because it's really doing any good just sitting here. So that's why she decided to purchase this property. So now I wouldn't call her really an investor. And at this point, I would say I deal with investors all the time. I wouldn't look at it more as an investment, situation. It's more of her just really wants to just sell the property.
Sure. Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. I guess what I'm trying to think about and I'm trying to put her in the best position possible. So I got to put my mind to this and see if I can even offer something that would make sense. But why don't I do this? I'll try to do that, and then I'll just be in touch with you. We'll try to figure out something that might make sense and bounce some ideas off each other, okay?
Sure. Can you do me a favor? Can you just text me your contact info so I can save you here on my phone, and then so I have you next time you reach out, I know who you are.
Yep. Do me a favor. I'm going to send you my email address right now. If you could just reply with yours, that'd be great.
Perfect.
Thank you, Jose. Okay. I'm thinking of something that I was just talking to my partner about this morning. This might be a really good opportunity, actually. Okay, let me move that one. Offer needed creative. Oops. I sent my email address to the wrong person. It's my bad. Let's call this person that I just sent my email address to. See how this one goes.
And Skinner.
Hey, and my name is Mike. I actually just texted you my email address. I apologize. And you there?
Yes.
Hi. Sorry, did I catch you in the middle of something?
Yeah, actually you did.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. When should I give you a call back? I was calling you about your brand new listing.
Okay, yes. Can I call you back in just a short while?
Yeah, I hope I'm available. If I'm not, I'll give you a call back.
Okay.
Why pick up your phone if you can't take the call?
You can do the day and have a date, and you're reached Del Andre with.
Let's try him again. So that's our fourth contact. Third creative contract.
You can do the day and have a date, and you're reached.
Man, what the heck just happened? All right, let's keep rolling. Now we're going into some leads from yesterday. So these are a little bit older.
Hey, it's Christian.
Christian, it's Mike. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Good, thanks. I'm glad we could connect. I tried to call you yesterday about your listing on Jace Drive.
Yeah, it's no longer on the market.
It's no longer on the market?
No, that's correct.
Oh no, what happened?
They decided not to. Some life things pop up and no longer selling the property.
Man, that was like 24 hours after you listed it, right?
Yeah, it wasn't long at all.
Crazy. So do you have anything else that I can take a look at? I'm looking to buy a rental property in that area.
Up in Clarksville?
Yeah.
I don't have anything up in Clarksville. I got one down in Lucasburg. It's the opposite direction, but I don't have anything up in Clarksville itself.
Okay. Well, I'm not opposed to that area. Tell me a little bit more about that one.
So the one in Lewisburg's 2-bed, 1-bath, currently rented at $925 a month. Lease is up in December of this year. A long-term tenant, pays utilities as well, and current listing price is $125.
Okay. And is the rent at market?
Yeah, for that property, because it does not have central heat and air. You might be able to pull up a little bit more on rent, but I'd say $9 to $950 is about the max you'd get with no central heat and air.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm happy to take a look at that. I'll text you over my email address. Just out of curiosity, would the seller be open to seller financing that?
On the Maple Street, it would just depend on the terms.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Could definitely be an option, but it would just depend on the terms.
Got it.
How much money you were willing to put down on it.
Yeah, probably not as much as he'd want me to, but that's just how it goes. But let me do this. I'm going to take a look at that one. I'll text you over my email address, and feel free to send that over to me.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send it over, and we can discuss and see what we can work out.
Thank you, Christian. All right. Let's see. Need to find a way to get on track. I don't feel good. I don't feel good physically. I feel a little bit sick. Maybe that's affecting me, but I also don't feel like I've gotten into a rhythm at all. Like, at all. So I'm going to want to find a way to get into a rhythm here. I want to have a good conversation with somebody.
Thank you for calling the agent on duty. Press 1. If you'd like to sell your home, press 2. For our transaction coordinator, press 3. And
I've called this one already. So I'm going to delete this one. Actually, this is the one that we were going to try to call back earlier. That's funny. All right. This one looks like it did not bring in the address or the contact for the listing agent. So I'm going to try to find out who the listing agent is for this one. May have to just call the office. Huh. Is there a phone number? All right, let's just call.
Hello, Sonny.
Oh, hey, Sonny. I don't know if I have the right number or not. I'm looking for the listing agent on.
That is Kate Murphy, and she does. She and I share this number.
Oh,
Who's this?
my name is Mike.
Okay. Are you an agent or what? What are you?
I'm a buyer.
Okay. If you'd like, I can give you her number, or I can help you with whatever you might be looking for.
So either one's fine. I'm happy to ask you questions if you have a few minutes, and if Kate's the better person to talk to, I'm happy to have that conversation too. I'm looking at that Broy Hill property. I'm looking to buy a new rental, but I actually just pulled it up again. It looks like it went pending.
Yes, she did get an offer. Actually, last night she was negotiating, and she did, I do believe, put it under contract this morning.
Got it. Okay. Do you know anything about the offer itself? Is it worth me submitting a backup offer?
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing to do a backup, but I know the agent that sent the offer, and pretty solid agent, and typically those kinds of agents get their deals closed. But
Sure.
I mean, it can't hurt, and even if you just email the terms, if something went sideways, she could.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine. Well, I have you on the phone. If this one doesn't work out, do you have anything else available between you or Kate that might be good for a rental property for myself to purchase?
I have a ton available. We have a ton available. Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I mean, what are you particularly looking for as far as rental properties?
So I'm typically looking for larger properties. So anything that's 3 or 4 bedrooms or more, and I'll go up to about $500,000 cash for my rental properties. So anything that you have in that neighborhood, or even better, anything that's offering financing from a seller would be great as well.
Okay, yeah. Not a whole lot of financing for the seller that I'm aware of. We've got some pretty large homes. New construction, and I think new construction is a good way to go, because if you're going to rent it out for 5 years, it's still pretty new after 5 years. And you can still sell it after the market appreciates and you've made some good rental income.
Yep, and there aren't a whole lot of capital expenditures either.
Yep, exactly.
All right, why don't I do this? I'm going to email you my email address. Sorry, I'm going to text you my email address. And send
text it. The number you called is kind of a group number.
Okay.
So my phone number is 910.
Hold on one sec. Let me write this down. I'm trying to find a pen. Okay, cool. I'm ready.
910.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 568-6127.
Okay, awesome. And your name is Troy, right?
Yeah, my name's Tony.
Tony. Got it. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye. Okay, so I backed off of that one because that one has a really big equity spread. I could submit a backup offer. It sounds like it's a really good offer, and it also doesn't sound like it's a creative offer. So again, what we're really doing here is we're trying to find the diamonds in the rough with this one. So I'm just going to lost dead this. Personally, it's just not worth my time to follow up on for a couple reasons. First off, it's pending, but secondly, it's pending and it had a big equity spread. So my guess is that the offer that came in was either a cash offer or it was a financed offer that allowed the sellers to walk away with whatever they wanted to walk away with. So, and it's only been on the market for 5 days. So let's just keep on moving. Actually, before I do that, that call that just came in was from that agent who declined our offer. So I want to call him back. All right, let's see how this goes. This could be a total mess. Could be. We'll see. Shoot. Huh. Let's double dial her. I've been trying to get a hold of this one for a couple days now. What I do, by the way, is if I don't get a hold of them after a couple of days, I'm sending over a cash offer or a creative offer, depending on the situation, just to get a response. All right, she is not going to pick up. I feel like I spoke with this guy. I did. What did we talk about? Ooh, I want to send this guy a creative offer. All right, let's come back to that. I just got a text message from my colleague who was on the phone with the other agent when we tried to call him. So let's try to call him again. This is probably the 7th time I've tried to call him.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Tom, I'm so sorry about our phone tag. I know you were just on the phone with Irvin.
Hey, Mike. I got you now.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much for taking my call. Irvin just texted me and said that you were on the phone with him when I tried to call.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the loan assumption that wouldn't work for my folks. They need to sell the home and have that mortgage cleared out and to be able to get their next mortgage.
Got it. Why is that?
Yeah. What do you mean? Why is that?
Well, I've never run into an issue with if they have a decent credit score. I've never run into an issue with a debt to income ratio being a deterrent for doing that type of transaction.
Well, that's not my experience. That's not my experience at all. But I tend to work very hard to let my folks know that we have better options for them out there than to incur the kind of liability that I see. Your program has given them.
Got it. Okay, so it's a liability issue then, right?
Well, I mean, it's a liability issue. They're not going to be able to get a mortgage if they've got another mortgage that's outstanding and affects the DTI.
What if I could guarantee that?
The intent letters sent over really aren't correct either. I don't know. Did you guys submit on a truck or send the letter?
We submit all offers on Trex. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Well, that's definitely a step in the right direction. Most of the guys that are doing what you guys are doing are still trying to just submit them via the letter. And of course, seller can't make their own contract, or the buyer can't make their own contract. So I'm glad to see that those are starting to come in on Trex forms. But no, it's just not something I'd be interested in. Our broker has told us that there are reporting requirements for the owners of that home.
For what?
In order to stay in good standing with the program in general. It just doesn't sound like something we'd be interested in having our clients do.
Got it. Yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. Okay, so a couple of things, and hopefully this helps you on a future transaction if for some reason your broker changes his or her mind. When I said that I've never run into an issue with a debt to income standing in the way of us taking over a mortgage, what we've been able to do every single time is structure it such that they're able to qualify using their debt to income still with their mortgage on their credit report. And we do that a couple of different ways. First off, what you could do is you could do what's called a lease purchase. And basically all that means is we put a lease in place where that shows on their income and their debt to income as incoming revenue that offsets the more
2 years of one
one-time payments to establish that?
Nope. I need just a lease in place, and that's according to my mortgage broker. So that's not an issue at all. The debt to income shouldn't be an issue. The liability, you have a great point. There could be some potential liability for anyone who is unfamiliar with these types of transactions. And one thing that you said really well is you said that the other guys who are trying to do what we're sending over, that's a great way to put it, because we are closing about 10 to 12 or so of these on a monthly basis, whereas others are really selling us their deals. So they're largely going to wholesale those to us for the most part. So I guess I'm kind of curious, when you said that there was some reporting that was needed, what did you mean by that?
So this was, we'd actually had a class on this a few months ago at my brokerage, and we had an attorney come in and had talked about one of the liabilities, one of the risks to the owner of the home is that there are steps that they have to take, I believe you said on a yearly basis, to essentially stay protected, and that if they fail to take those steps or make those notifications, that it could actually put their ownership of the property in jeopardy.
Interesting. Yeah, none of that is true. That's really interesting. So what we do, and again, this is just information for future reference. If let's say that we use the Little Elm property as an example, what we would do is the seller in that case would actually be a lender on that property. They wouldn't be a former owner, just a former owner. So basically what they would do is they would receive a deed of trust and a promissory note that secures their position in the financing hierarchy. And nothing has to be reported on an annual basis whatsoever for that type of transaction to stay in good standing, for example. But we basically secure our sellers the same way that a bank would secure themselves, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or whatever, with that promissory note and that deed of trust. So it's just, I guess I was just kind of curious to learn a little bit more about your experience in that. It sounds like your broker's had a bad experience.
Well, maybe so. I don't know. If you could email me an example of each and every piece of documentation that you guys utilize to secure a home under this program, then I'd love to take a look at it and sit down with my broker and our attorney and see if that's something that maybe there's a misunderstanding on our part. Maybe the program's changed. Maybe you're full of just shining me on. Nothing personal.
Could be. You never know.
If you could send me all this, I'd be happy to sit down with them. I mean, I'd love to have another option, especially getting some of these narrow margin deals moved off of my plate.
Yeah, no, and I'd love to, if it does work for you guys, I'd love to kind of show you how it does work for us, and just as a potential option. So I can send that over to you. It's not a problem.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking my call, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Okay, you too, buddy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me try to process that for a second there. So what's really interesting is that he said something there. He said that I wouldn't want to do that, or something along those lines. In my head, what I was thinking is, well, would your seller want to do that? If I could show them that they could qualify for the next home with this mortgage associated with their debt to income ratio, would they want to pursue this type of transaction, or would they even be open to it, right? This type of program, he kept saying program, now it's ingrained in me. It's not a program, right? This type of way of selling or this type of way of purchasing has been done for decades and decades, right? Nothing here is new. It just maybe sounds different than what these people are used to. And so if I can show this seller how they can purchase their next home and allow me to take over the monthly mortgage payment, or allow me to take over the loan and give them cash to walk away with it, instead of them having to pay $12,000, according to my notes here, why wouldn't they at least consider it? In this situation, it sounds like it's a broker's issue, where the broker's coming in and saying, nope, can't do that. or the in-house attorney is saying, nope, that's illegal, or they're going to have to do some sort of reporting, which I've never heard of, by the way. Not to say that it doesn't exist. I've just never heard of it. So what I'm going to want to do in that situation is show them the types of transactions that we're doing. What's cool about this one is that this is in an area where we do a lot of transactions. So I can show them exactly the property. It's in their neighborhood. They can see that it's real. It's not a deal in Florida, for example, while this one's in Texas. So I like this. This is really cool. Initially, that agent came off as someone who was going to be a little bit of a hard nut to crack, but I don't think that he was. And because I didn't say anything that would loosen him up or soften him up, that wasn't on me. That was on him, and he was open to it. So I really appreciate the fact that he was open to that sort of a thing. And, he said at the end, he said, look, if this is a possible solution for future opportunities, then great. He can work with his broker based on what I send him to see if that is an option for them for the future. So the way that I want to position this is realistically one where I'm simply sending them information. Hey, take a look at this. This is what we did in this situation. This is how we protected the seller. You can see that based on my attorney's response here, that it's A, completely legal, B, everyone is protected to some degree in the transaction. There's still some liability, right? You just have to be okay with that. But I think that building that relationship with that agent and the broker is going to be a really good thing. So I like that one a lot. That was fun. Let's make a couple more phone calls, and then let me see if I can call back that one agent. Let me make a quick phone call, guys. This is to a partner of mine.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Irvin. So I just got off the phone with Tom. It was I thought it was really good.
Okay, good.
By the way, I'm on a live right now, just FYI. So don't you be swearing like you normally do, okay?
You got it.
So my conversation with him was really good. He started off a little bit tough, as if I wasn't going to be able to get past the first layer there. But I don't think that I necessarily did anything for him to do that. I think that he was just naturally open to hearing about the opportunity. And he mentioned that his broker has provided some guidance against doing those sorts of transactions, and their in-house attorney has also done the same. I think it's worth listening to that phone call. I was calling you to update you on that, but then I was also looking at this other one from Danielle.
Okay.
And one thing I think that you might want to do with her is offer her, if she'd be open to seller financing, the seller would be open to seller financing it, because it looks like she just would rather rent it, but I think it's an easier case to pitch it as a seller finance, and she becomes the bank as opposed to the landlord.
Okay. And there's equity there.
Oh, there is equity. How much?
No, I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh, let's see here. Let me take a look.
I know she's been trying to get a hold of me. We've been kind of playing phone tag, texting back and forth and calling each other, but I tried calling again.
There is no equity. So, her complaint here is that there's too much liability. So what I would do is just pivot it just a little bit and say, look, I understand where you're coming from. Why don't we just make you a lender in the situation instead of being a former seller, right? We'll upgrade you to a lender. And in that situation, what we're doing is we're simply paying you on a monthly basis.
Right.
And we can simply mirror the financing that's already in place. That way, I think she might feel more secure.
Got it. Okay. It's just a different wordplay on it.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing, but it just sounds different. And then the other thing, too, is that what you could do is just pivot it so that it's an upgrade to a lender. She doesn't have to take care of the toilets, no tenants, no improvements, and then that basically just falls on us.
Yep, I love it.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Irvin.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye. Okay, that's a really interesting one. Normally I would call, but my colleague is on top of this one. This is a situation where I think that you guys heard most of it. The agent has responded and said, my client was considering your offer, but after thinking about it, it's just too much liability. She would prefer just to rent out the house as a worst case. So this is actually it's practically an even type of transaction, break even. There's no money coming out of pocket for her to pay at close. She's also not going to receive any money. So why don't we just structure it? And we do this anyway. Here's the thing. We would do this anyway. This would be the exact same type of transaction where we keep the mortgage in place. They sell or finance the property to us. We simply mirror the financing, but we give her a little bit of cash. In this situation, we could probably give her 10 grand instead of her having to break even. So why doesn't she become the lender? She can forget about taking care of toilets and tenants and maintenance and all the other BS that's associated with owning property as a landlord. And then we're simply paying her on a monthly basis, and then she's just going around and paying the mortgage on her own. That seems to make a whole lot more sense to me personally. It's also a really good way to pitch it as well, right? It's the same exact thing. It's just how can we pivot it so that it makes sense for that seller? She's a landlord. She's going to rent it out. Why not sell it to us on owner financing? She continues to get the same amount of money coming in. She pays her mortgage, but she doesn't have to take care of all of that other stuff. So that was really interesting as well. Today seems to be an interesting day. I think we've come across a lot of interesting stuff. I'm going to try one more phone call here. If we don't get a hold of this agent, then we'll just call it a day. Okay, cool. All right, guys, sorry about that. We couldn't get a hold of her. Let's wrap it up. Day 9 in the books. So thank you guys, as always, for your support. Really do appreciate it. I hope that you guys are getting some value. I know that I'm getting value by making these phone calls, and yeah, it's applying a little bit of pressure. It's also making me think about how I want to adjust my phone calls and just be better in general. So I hope that you guys are getting as much value out of it as I am. And feel free to let me know what I could do differently, better, all of those sorts of things. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys again tomorrow.